Welcome to Arts Talk. I'm Bill Roberts.
I'm Jennifer Boudreau.
How are you, Jen?
I'm super tired, but awesome.
You had a big summer, busy summer?
Really, really busy. I hosted a stage at the Stampede for the 10 days, so
Wow.
a huge deal. But I moved into a new house, which is kind of where all of the real tiredness comes from. And right before we moved, they dug the trenches in front of the house to put in the sidewalks, and it's been raining ever since, and so they just flooded. So now we have a moat.
So you have a castle with a moat.
Yeah, so we ordered alligators, and I think they're putting the drawbridge in next week, so
Wow.
it's going to be really fun.
I'm-
Visit at your own risk.
I'm looking forward to that visit, actually.
And how's all the prepping for the Fringe show going for you?
It's been busy. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty and rehearsal after rehearsal, and we actually have a segment on the show tonight of us rehearsing, so that'll be fun to see.
I'm excited because I'm going to watch that, and then later on when you say, hey, did you come and see my show? I'd be like, yeah, I did, and I'll just pull moments from the rehearsal clip.
Of course you will. So I'm going to question you on that. It would be a test. Multiple choice, but it'll be a
multiple
test.
choice, no problem. It's always C.
Excellent. So we've got lots coming up actually on this show, which is great. So again, as I mentioned, my Fringe show, Inner Voices, we've got a segment on there. We have Ava Comer's local filmmaker. We've got Deborah Hughes-Gar, a potter, and I've done some pottery with Deborah Hughes-Gar.
Really? Like
I
Ghost?
have. No, but well, no, not like that.
Not like Ghost?
But
Okay.
I did do pottery, and I made a pot that was probably, it looks bigger on camera, but
Of course, it always does.
it's probably like that.
Yeah.
Who else do we have? Molly Hewell, youth ambassador for Hive Swarm AGA. So we've
She's a great artist.
we have just a ton to do on this show tonight.
Yeah, let's jump right into it.
Let's go right into it.
Let's meet our producer-director, Eva Comers, and I have had the pleasure of auditioning for her before, and she is so lovely to work with, so I'm really glad that we have you on our show.
Well, thank you for inviting me, although the audition didn't quite turn out the way it was.
Don't tell them that.
But that you were my first choice, but the producer in that case.
She just
She's
buttered
just
me up
saying that
now.
because she's on my show.
Yeah.
Now, you've had an incredible year here. Look at all
Look at
these
these awards.
awards that you have.
Yes, as you know, I'm a filmmaker, writer, director, producer since now 14 years here in Edmonton, but this year, for whatever weird reason, the gods were very kind to me, and lots of awards and lots of good news for me.
So tell me about that moment right before they announced you as Best Director at the Ampias this year. What was going through your head?
Yes, so this is my first Ampia Award, and I was nominated several times before, so I prepped myself for, oh, well, there are so many good other people that deserve it.
Right.
So I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it the whole time I marched up on stage together with my co-director, the subject of the documentary.
Yeah.
I was just saying under my breath, I can't believe it, I can't believe it. It was awesome to be recognized by your peers, and these are all great people and
Right.
filmmakers themselves. So you know how it is. It
Yeah,
feels good.
It's fantastic, and it's great to see it here. And you have another award here that you won from FAVA as well.
Yes, I'm a member of FAVA, the Film and Video Arts
Yeah.
Society, and they decided that this year their Achievement Award goes to me and also Larry Kelly, because we did great work. I think it's because of my latest short film, my independent one, 2.57K, which is quite unique and achieved a couple of great awards internationally.
I
We talked.
watched the trailer, and I was going to say there wasn't enough in there. I wanted to see the whole thing.
And we talked a little bit off camera about how great so far 2016 has been for you, and how you obviously you want that to continue. But now it's almost like you get a little bit nervous because 2016's been so great. What's 2017 going to be, like? But I think
That's
for
right.
you, it'll just be.
Whenever several good things happen in a row, you worry that, whew,
Yeah.
what do I have to pay it with? But I also have been long enough in the business that I know that some years everything seems to be aligned properly, but other years where I work equally hard, it just wasn't aligned the right way.
Right.
So I will continue to work hard and on my next project and the next project, and hope that it strikes an arc with the audience and with the jury.
For sure.
Well, tell us about your next project. You said you're working on your first dramatic feature.
That's right. It's called Mango in the Snow, and
Mango's my favorite fruit. Just saying.
it's about a well, there we go.
There's another audition opportunity.
And it's about a foreign care worker that leaves her own family in order to look for a better life here in Canada, and not just in Canada, but right here in Edmonton.
Wow.
Oh,
So
nice.
she gets rerouted and needs to find a new home for herself and her son, which doesn't always go easily.
Right, right. And a question for you, actually. A few shows back, we had a panel on the show just discussing the state of our Alberta film industry and here in Edmonton. What are your kind of thoughts on that? How do you feel the whole industry in this area is right now?
We are all waiting strongly for the arrival and announcement of our new film commissioner. The position was vacant for a while. I always thought that we have very great talent, but I'm saddened to see that sometimes there is not enough
Right.
work generated within the city, that some of our best people always leave. So by having somebody helm it and drumming up local and national and international
Right.
business, I hope that we can keep all those great filmmakers.
For sure. I think we've talked about it before. I think there's so much growth potential here and how exciting that can be. And with great filmmakers and award-winning filmmakers such as yourself, it just helps that industry grow.
Exactly. Hopefully the new Screen Industries Office, which I think took several months for them to vote on the name, and it's lovely, can provide the kind of support that we need.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I did see the special show you did about it. It was a very critical assessment, and I hope we soon have that film commissioner and film office in place.
I sure hope so as well, Eva. Eva, really appreciate you being on the show, and you've done some fantastic work. Again, it's great that you've got the awards here, and we'll definitely keep an eye out for your feature as well, and our viewers will do that, and make sure you follow Eva. And you have a website as well, do you not?
Yeah, my company is called No Problem Productions,
Yes.
and the website is called www.noproblemproductions.ca. And I just need to say, even though I'm the one who carries these awards, my cinematographer, my actors,
Right.
my editors, I owe them greatly. The NFB, so I'm not just the only person who has worked hard that year.
All right, well, thank you so much, Eva. We'll be right back after this.
So Bill is out rehearsing his Inner Voices Fringe show, and the Alberta Fringe Festival is from August 11th to the 21st. So check his show out. I think it opens on August 12th. But let's take a second to go and sneak in on him at the rehearsal and see what he's up to.
Thanks, Jen. Here I am in my other element, other than doing Arts Talk. As I mentioned on the show numerous times, I'm also an actor. I have a show coming up at the Edmonton Fringe Festival this year called Inner Voice, and we wanted to bring you to our rehearsal space, which is actually a preschool out here in Sherwood Park, but it works well for us for this two-man show, which includes myself and includes my co-star, who's behind me here, Lee Conrad. So it's going to be a fantastic show. Show's directed by Georgia Severini, and Georgia's hiding over on the couch. There she is. So we want to show you a little bit about what we do in our rehearsal process as we get ready for this year's Edmonton Fringe. Let's have a look. There's our whole backstory, Georgia.
And this part is conveniently forgotten in the show.
Well, we need some sort of background for it. There is a difference. You talk to me all the time.
No, I don't.
Do you ever talk to yourself?
Yes.
Do you ever question or doubt yourself?
Of course.
Well, that's me.
As I mentioned earlier, Lee Conrad is my co-star in Inner Voice. Good to have you here, Lee.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
I'm doing well, Lee. How about you?
I'm ripping and raring to go with this show. It's going to be an awful lot of fun.
So what's your character?
I am your inner voice, your conscience, if you will, the sixth sense.
Yeah, he's playing my inner voice, so he's in my head the
That's
whole
right.
show.
So I get to play all his doubts and fears and that voice that keeps nagging at him about how worthless his life is just prior to what could be his death.
And will that happen or not? You have to come see the show.
That's right. Yeah, it's a big tease for that. So.
And quickly, Lee, What's your background? How much theater have you done in the past?
My theater background goes back quite a number of years. My first stage presence was actually with the Carnival of Shrieking Youth way back in around 1995, 1996. From then on, I was in another production called The Art of Eating Oranges, and most recently I appeared in Dracula at the Walterdale Theater.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you may be thinking as an audience, why are we dressed in winter jackets?
In a summer show.
We're all dressed in winter. Anyway,
Yeah.
this takes place because of a snowmobile accident, so it takes place in the winter. So that's why we're bundled up like this for rehearsal for tonight and for you, the audience, so you get an idea what the show is about.
That's right.
All right, Lee, thanks a lot. We're going to show the audience what we do.
Excellent.
Holy crap. Thank God I could really use your help. I just crashed my snowmobile and I banged my head, something bad.
How many drinks did you have before you decided to go riding?
What? 8.
You know what? We screwed that up entirely too because you were supposed to leave, but you weren't there, so I had a chance to grab you.
That's right. With me is Georgia, Director of Inner Voice. How are you, Georgia?
I'm doing all right, Bill.
Welcome to Arts Talk.
Wow, yeah, it's my first time on Arts Talk.
Well, of course it's your first time. It's the first time
Yeah.
I've ever had a chance to interview you on Arts Talk.
Well, very nice.
So what got you to want to direct Inner Voice?
Well, it was your idea.
It was my idea.
This play was written by Dion Huel, who also wrote Apocalypse Saskatchewan, which we have done since 2012. We first did it at the Walterdale. I directed that. Then we brought it to the 2013 Fringe. And finally, we just said to Dion, write something new for us.
Which he did, and he came up with Inner Voice. What excites you about this show?
It's very funny, but it also has the depth of your character might die, and he's reflecting on his life with the help of Voice, Lee's character.
That's true, and of course it puts us through a bit of torment, not just as characters, but because we have to wear these on stage for 45, 50 minutes. At least I do most of the show, so it's going to be a little bit warm, Georgia.
Yes, in a venue with no air conditioning.
Oh, thanks for telling me that. I appreciate it. All right, Georgia, appreciate it. Thanks for being on the show. And we're back. Now, last show, we had a viewer question, what was your favorite theater venue in Edmonton? And guess what? We got some responses. I'm gonna go over
what did
those
they
real quick.
say?
So Leslie D said that her favorite spot is the Jubilation's Dinner Theater because they've got great food and fantastic shows.
Yeah, they are pretty fun.
Tracy S said she enjoys attending the Citadel, especially during the holiday season because they always go and see the Christmas carols. That's an awesome show as well. Haley Q says, I like attending the Sherwood Park Alliance Church because they have a big singing Christmas tree there.
Oh, that's a really nice
That's an interesting
one.
venue, yeah, for sure. And Brett F says the Walterdale Theater because it's small and cozy and it always has great local shows.
Oh, good. Small and cozy. And great local shows like Arts Talk.
Of course, that's why. So we have a new question, and that is, what do you want to see on Arts Talk? You can send your response to artstalkedmonton@gmail.com. We want to hear what you'd like to see on the show.
Yeah, help us broaden our horizons, if you will.
Of course. So we have a bunch of events coming up as well, Jennifer.
It is the summer season.
It is the summer season, so I've got a couple. I have Alex Peck on White, which is August 12th to August 26th. He's a Vancouver Island artist who actually does fresh abstract art. So he will be on display at the Baruga Matheson Gallery, which is on 10345 124th Street. Again, August 12th to August 26th. Also, another event, Mystic Places, August 4th to September 10th. We've got multimedia artist Joné Tremblay, who's visited magical sites all across Europe and attempts to reconstruct them as images in her exhibition. That sounds kind of cool.
Oh,
That's going to be at
interesting.
Latitude 53, 10242 106th Street, right here in Edmonton. Again, the 4th of August till September 10th. What do you have, Jen?
I was just going to say, that's so funny. I'm like, that's not the address I have, but I have a different event. So, of course, you'd have a different address. So, we've got Movies on the Square, August 16th and 23rd, which will be so fun. And you get to sit in the Winston Churchill Square.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, and watch the movies on a big 3-story high inflatable screen.
Like going
So,
to the
bring a
drive-in.
blanket and a lawn chair. It would be so fun. And then if you like to do tantrums, Fitz and the Tantrums, it's adult only, August 26th at Union Hall Nightclub. And it's going to be an amazing live show. What did they say that? Hear that familiar earworm, The Walker,
Wow.
at this thrilling live show. So I think that's going to be a really fun one if you want to get out to Union Hall.
Lots of good stuff happening. We'll be right back after this. And we're back. Look at all this wonderful pottery we have with us. Deborah Hughes-Gar, local potter out of Strathcona County, actually, and I've known Deborah for many years, and Deborah actually helped me make my first ever pot. I got to work on the pottery wheel. Do you remember that great experience, Deborah?
It was wonderful, and you did really well.
Well, thank you.
Aw, that's nice.
I appreciate that. So tell us a little bit how you got into pottery.
About 10 years ago, went to a Christmas, I believe it was a Christmas craft sale in Camrose at the Pottery Guild. And of course it was held in the building, and as soon as I walked in the room I saw all the wheels and the table set up with the items for sale. So about 20 minutes after arriving I was signed up for my first class.
And away you went.
And haven't looked back. I paint as well, and the painting has slowly taken a back seat to that. But the pottery is very, the pull is so strong and it's irresistible once you get into it and you start having some success, because it does take quite a few years, and you have to be very persistent, and you have to make probably 1 million mistakes.
Of course.
And
I've seen a few of those that I made on the pottery wheel.
No, I didn't see any mistakes.
Of course.
No, it was
I
fabulous.
noticed, Jen, you're really interested in this particular one.
Well, I was looking at the coloring that's in there, and is that, because you'd mentioned painting, so have you painted all of the little flecks, or is some of that what's come out of the clay when you baked it?
No, the clay is a white clay. There's many different kinds.
Okay.
And your glazes, you can use one color, you can double up, you can overlap, as I've done on the top of this and on the rim of the bowl. And when the two glazes react in the kiln as it's firing, you will get different colors, and of course any texture will bring out elements of the glaze colors as well. So the glaze will be one color on a smooth area where there is no texture, and then if you interrupt that with any sort of carving or marks, that will, it's called breaking, and that will bring out the other colors in the glaze. So this is two glazes. The base is called Temuku Gold. It's a Japanese glaze, and then on top is opal.
Oh, wow.
So not everything obviously here is turned on a wheel, correctly? So this piece that's up front here,
I made that on a wheel.
Is that on a wheel as well?
Yep.
Okay.
That's I made the base on the wheel, and then it's called altered forms.
Okay.
And I do make regular normal bowls and dishes, but it's much more fun to alter the rim. This was cut on the side, and then I brought that edge in, and then you can carve into it, as I've done on the bottom as well. But no, everything here was made on the wheel.
Excellent. And just quickly, because our time just whips right by.
No.
If you had any recommendation for somebody that wanted to actually start learning pottery, what do you recommend? What should we do?
Jump in with both feet.
Just go for it.
Take a class if you can. You don't need to have the studio, like I have my own studio in the home and my kiln, but there are classes available in many places, beginner classes for learning on the wheel and hand building. But if you can possibly manage to get into any sort of an art class, really, painting or pottery, but the pottery, I don't know, there's just something about getting your hands in there. So classes are available for evenings, weekends.
Excellent.
So go for it.
So just really quick, because we have to wrap up here, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, Deborah, say they wanted to purchase a piece, what do they do? How do they get a hold of you?
I don't have a website, but I am on Facebook under Deb Hughes-Gar.
Okay.
And you can just send me a friend request, and I can post pictures of my latest pieces, and we can go from there.
Great. Well, thank you so much for bringing your
Thank
awesome
you.
work for us to look at. Thanks, Deb. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back. We are with Molly Wool. She's probably one of our youngest people that we've had on the show, so we're really excited that she's with us. She's a youth ambassador for Swarm at the Art Gallery of Alberta, and she has brought with her some of her amazing designs, which I'm excited for her to show us. But first, let's find out a little bit more about you. Tell us about yourself, Molly.
Well, I'm 16. I really like to draw a lot.
Is this from like youth, like from when you were super young, you've just always been drawing, or has this been a recent discovery in your life?
It's probably been more of a thing at 10.
Okay.
Wow.
I always drew on all my papers at school, and I had a really good art teacher that really got me excited for art.
So is it something like you get home from school and the first thing you want to go is paint or draw or?
Yeah. Yeah, I draw all the time.
So show us a little bit about what you brought us.
I brought this one, which is an ink picture.
And explain what's it about. Tell us a little bit about.
Well, this one was my mom. She asked me to draw a picture, so I drew it really fast. It's not my favorite, but she likes it.
You like, and she wanted it here on the show, but that's awesome though. So how long did that take you? You said you drew it really quick.
Probably an hour, maybe not even.
That's pretty quick.
And is that a picture of your mother?
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
Mom's here in the studio, I know, because she's back there smiling when she looks at that picture. So.
Yeah.
So
What
I
else?
was looking at your pictures because you had sent a bunch of them
Yes.
to the show, and they looked very much like cartoons, like you're doing storylines and stuff. Are you writing a comic book, or is that a goal?
I have been briefly, but not a big thing yet.
Okay.
I have plans, but that's about it. I also like writing a story too.
Okay.
It's really fun too.
What's the significance of the fortune cookies and the little fortune? Are these ones that you've had before and now you're making an image based off of them?
Those are from a school project we did. Our art
Okay.
teacher gave us a fortune cookie, and we had to draw something based off what was on the fortune.
Interesting.
So do you have like a favorite kind of genre that you like to draw, or is it just whatever comes to mind, or is?
I like cartoon most because I love the big expressions and the different emotions you can convey, and it's really fast and so.
So what your title, Youth Ambassador. So exactly what are you doing with that?
So the Youth Council, we organize the different events for the Hive, and we do different activities, and different artists that are gone through the profession of artists come and like talk to the youth and show different techniques in art, and gets the youth interested in art gallery.
Nice. Nice.
That's awesome. Okay, show us what else you brought.
I also brought this one and and this one.
Okay, is that acrylic?
No, this one, the blue one is ink, and the what's it called? Orange one is watercolor.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
Ink, like you just drew that with a pen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. Okay, and these are Disney, Jack and the Beanstalk and Rapunzel, is that? Oh, I love them.
That is really nice. Yeah. So what do you have any shows coming up? Anything like that?
No.
Have you shown in the past? Shown any of your work, or this is kind of a
This is a new thing.
This is a big new thing for you to get out
Yeah.
and promote it, which is great. That's awesome that you're showing it, and it's great that you've brought this work to us. And I think it's also great you're only 16 years old, and you're here showing what you can do. So there's so many other 16-year-olds out there, I'm sure, that watch the show that would love to do what you're doing, and now they get that confidence to get out there and try it.
Right, next time we'll have you on the show, you'll be
An award-winning
unveiling
artist. You'll have a big show.
big monument that you've done downtown on the side of one of the buildings.
Yeah, you bet.
That'd be cool.
So much. Thank you so much for being on the show and bringing your work, and it's awesome, Molly. And as I said, it'll be inspiration to all those other 16-year-old artists out there that want to get doing it.
Thank you for letting me come.
You bet. So Jen, that's another Arts Talk.
That's a great arts talk.
We had
Busy.
so much happening on the show. One thing I want to bring up really quick, on August 25th, Arts Talk is going to do a live audience show, meaning that you, our viewers, can come and see us actually shoot the show live. We're going to be at the Walterdale Theatre, 140 some seats, Jennifer, because I know Jennifer gets stage
Don't
fright when
tell
there's
me
an
how many
audience.
people.
Free to come and see. Come down and participate. Watch the show. It's where I have some awesome guests. Such a fun show for us to do, at least for me to do. Maybe not Jennifer, but it'll be great.
Just as long as nobody looks at me during the whole time, like everyone just cover their eyes when it's my turn to talk, I think that it'll be easier.
Yeah.
Or maybe if you were just in your underwear, because I think that's supposed to make people less nervous.
It is a family show, so.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Oh,
August
yeah.
25th, 6 p.m., Walterdale. Make sure that you come out to see the show. It is free, live audience. Come and see us. It's been another great show of Arts Talk. We'll see you next time.